Okay, I'm gonna have so much fun with this one. When someone asks you, who do you think is the most hated guy on the grid? What do you say? Now, I would probably say Perez, but at this point it seems like it's my own personal vendetta against the guy. Truth be told, I should be loving the chap instead of hating on him. He's literally the only thing standing between Red Bull and a fourth consecutive Constructors title. If you leave that seat empty, it would probably do better for Red Bull as a whole. Because at least when he crashes, the safety car won't ruin Verstappen's lead. But the person that most people would regard as the most hated on the grid is hands down Ocon, or as I tend to call him, the 5-year-old who never learned how to share his dolls in the sandbox.
Oh, Esteban, your feelings standing here right now, how are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling okay, a little bit headache, I have to say. No, I will be okay. I'm more tough than that.
No! No!
Yeah, okay.
And now, I have to be honest here. Sometimes I, and a lot of you mugs, tend to be angry at a guy for just existing. You know, with no good reason, calling someone an absolute fucking Okay, let's maybe take an example. You start blaming a guy who just happens to be the son of a billionaire who's making it to the sport for no good reason other than the support of your daddy's money, and then when being close to flung out of the sport, your daddy buying you an F1 team so you could continue pretending to be an actual fucking F1 driver. Okay, that wasn't a very good example, was it?
My name is Lawrence Stroll. I'll leave it at that.
Well, in any case, what I want to do today is understand, why does everyone hate poor Esteban? I mean, he seems like a pretty nice, solid young chap. Yeah, he looks a bit like a branch swaying in the wind when he walks. And he's clearly not the brightest of the bunch. And he is French. But is there really good reason why literally everybody hates him? So much so his own team principal went on live air and during the race said, "You're getting f***ing sacked, mate, when you're done with this." I haven't been able to find a clip of it for some reason, but I promise you, 2024 Monaco GP, after that absolute baboon hit his teammate on lap 1, the team went on record and said there will be consequences. But I can't find it. I don't know why. Just trust me. I'm a pretty trustworthy guy. I sometimes completely speak out of my ass and come up with random circumstances that never existed, and have made literally the worst predictions known to the F1 world. But you can trust me, come on. The first reason why literally everybody hates the guy on the grid, and when I say that, I really do mean everybody, apart from his mum and probably 3 other French dudes who were too drunk to tell Gasly apart from Ocon, there's nobody else cheering him on in a race Grand Prix. A whole paddock hates the fucker. And for damn good reason. One of those reasons is because he's the absolute worst teammate you can imagine. The number of races that I've witnessed where him and his teammate have clashed go beyond any reasonable number I can count to. And I can usually go up to 3 digits. On a good day. He's unable to identify that sometimes there is a circumstance where you shouldn't completely fuck over your teammate and risk crashing both your guys' car to keep the team in the fight for the constructors. He always just thinks that no matter what, he has to race his teammate to the limit, regardless of consequences or potential adverse realities. Which usually is a good thing for a driver. If they're selfish, that's the only way you can make it in the sport. But you have to have some reason or sense when you're driving. Not every corner is an opportunity to overtake your teammate on the inside. Because not every driver is a f***ing pussy like you and give you space to do your shenanigans. Or most of the time the move is so f***ing stupid that most drivers just don't expect it and only realize that Ocon was behind them because there's a huge thump and suddenly half their car is missing. The engineers that assemble these cars probably have his picture on the wall somewhere, pinned onto a dartboard. Pretty good way to improve your accuracy. Saying it from experience. Like, he's such a bad teammate, right? I felt bad for Checo when they were both driving that Barbie mobile. Me, feeling bad for Checo. It's that fucking bad. Another reason why the guy is an absolute muppet is just because he does stupid things on the grid and has no remorse for it. You would be watching an F1 Grand Prix, right? Things are just moving along, right? All good. Verstappen is leading 50 seconds ahead of schedule, that's fine. And suddenly, bum. He's crashed out, lost the lead, and you're thinking, whoa, no way. Max making a mistake? That is so rare. Then the instant replay hits and it all makes sense all of a sudden as soon as you see Ocon's ugly mug. I'm sorry to be referring to an incident that happened ages ago, but that is literally the quintessential nature of Ocon. He's down and out, not competing for anything, as usual. He's being lapped fair and square by the guy trying to take away points from the man that was so dominant back in the day, I still boo him every time I see him on TV. It gets a bit awkward when he pops up in an advert on the tube, and then he decides that it's a good idea to make the dumbest move in the most unreasonable circumstances to ruin his race, Verstappen's race, and ruin the afternoon of like 95% of the people watching because they were so excited to see someone else win other than the Mercedes at least once this season. And then he has no remorse for it whatsoever. And like some will say that was ages ago, you can't bring that up. He's probably changed so much. Bullshit. He hasn't changed one bit. Yeah, Verstappen used to be an absolute torpedo on the first laps of the Grand Prix, being pretty damn reckless. But he's learned and wised up, and look where it got him. Now take a look at Ocon, and you realise not only is he the ugliest French guy you've met, he's also just as fucking stupid as he was 5 years ago. Honestly, I tend to scrutinise stupid decisions made by team principals, but the only decision that I consider dumber than the one to give Esteban his debut year is giving him a new contract for 25 at Haas, having seen the absolute shitstorm that he causes on the grid every race. My only guess is that they had decided that after Magnussen they still need to keep some loose cannon on the grid that they can just resort to if Ferrari is down and out and Fred calls in a favour, because that's all he's fucking good for, mate. And also, the fucking kid has no personality whatsoever. Like most shitty drivers, I understand. They're just shit in it. The only questions that should be asked are how did they make it here, and who is paying off the team principal to still keep them on the grid. At least Mazepin had a fun personality that you could listen in on. The debacle with his father threatening Gunther was worth every penny of that Netflix subscription. With Ocon, he's just shit and has nothing to say about it. He's like an empty seat with random unjustified spurts of anger, constantly blaming others around him, and then when push comes to shove, has no fucking guts to stand up to anyone. Young Maxi came up and shoved the guy several times, and he didn't even budge. If it wasn't for Bottas and the camera watching, we'd probably be scraping the poor Frenchman's teeth off the concrete. Honestly, when he's in the car, he behaves like an absolute child, but then outside of it, he's got nothing to offer. Other than pure disgust that the sight of his obscenely skinny jeans cause, there is no other emotion that I feel when I see the guy. He's just arse and has nothing to offer, not even entertainment value. Even when he goes on one of his temper tantrums, he reminds me more of a kindergartner who didn't get to take his favourite Barbie to school than a 27-year-old Formula 1 driver. I'm only now noticing how sideways this clip has already gone. I've gone from trying to be objective and defend the guy and understand why everyone hates him so much, to just saying that he's a spineless man-child unable to offer even basic entertainment value to the sport. But that's just what happens when you talk about or bring up Ocon in any conversation. It has to be one of the least likable guys I know. Just the sight of him invokes pure hatred from most human beings. It's kind of amazing if I'm honest. I'm telling you, if you have some heated conversation or negotiation going on, even between states, and you bring up his picture on the screen, suddenly all of the hatred will be diverted towards him, everyone will get everything off their chests, and come to a peaceful conversation after. Maybe there is a use to him after all. You know what? In the next year's presidential debate, they should hang a TV on the wall, and just when it seems like a civil war is about to break out, you turn on the screen and a picture of Ocon appears. And suddenly, everyone is getting along. Trump gets to build his wall, and the illegal immigrants get to build it. On second thought, that looks like Ocon is their supreme leader or something. Okay, Jesus Christ. No. Get it off. Get it off now.